When an object breaks the sound barrier and continues to travel at a velocity in excess of Mach 1, 767 miles per hour, it carries the noise of its sonic boom with it, the way a speedboat pushes out waves from its prow in a constant wash. At 12:25 p.m, she only knew the exact time because she saw it in the official report afterwards, Kay heard what sounded like a particularly noisy firework exploding in the sky, followed a few seconds later by a loud but distant bang, as if a heavy door had slammed. Then came the rush of the rocket. Everyone around her stopped and looked up. The V2 hit Woolworth's dead centre and ploughed through every floor before detonating to form a crater 30 feet deep. Most of the victims died instantly, either in Woolworths itself, or in the cooperative store next door, or in the Drapers across the street, or on the number 53 bus, where the corpses remained upright in their seats, their internal organs traumatised by the blast wave. 160 people were killed. Banfill, Brian John, aged 3. Banfill, Florence Ethel, 42. Brown, Ivy, 31. Brown, Joyce, 18 months. Brown, Sylvia Racina, 12. Glover, Julia Elizabeth, 28. Glover, Michael Thomas, 1 month. Glover, Sheila, 7. In front of Kay, a thin, smudgy column of brown smoke began to rise above the roofs. There was a debate both during and after the war about which was the more frightening, the V1, the pilotless drone bomb, which you could see and hear, and which would only start to fall once its fuel ran out, potentially giving you time in the silence to try to find cover, or the V2, which struck without warning. Most said the V2. It preyed on one's nerves just as much as the V1, but offered not even a chance of escape. And it was also eerily futuristic, the harbinger of a new era, produced by an enemy who was supposed to be beaten. It made you wonder what else Hitler might have up his sleeve. Kay contemplated the smear of smoke for a few more seconds, took a couple of steps backwards, then turned and began walking rapidly in the opposite direction, threading her way between the onlookers, gawping at the sky, heedless of who she knocked into and the curses they shouted after her. The distinctive double bangs had reverberated across London. The Saturday shoppers she passed had their heads down, their faces tense, their voices muted. When the V2s had first started landing in September, the authorities had put out a story that the huge blasts were caused by exploding gas mains. Nobody believed it. Have you heard about the Germans' new secret weapon, the flying gas main? It was only in the last 2 weeks that Churchill had announced the truth in Parliament, and a thin film of anxiety had settled over the city. Kay hurried westwards, past Holborn Station, Tottenham Court Road. There was a relief in the simple mechanical activity of putting one foot in front of the other. She knew a lot about the V2, size, range, fuel, payload, launch sites. She had watched it grow before her eyes over the past 18 months, as a laboratory technician might watch cancerous cells multiply under a microscope. Her mental state was 3 parts panic to 1 part cool professional evaluation. If the Germans could land a pair of rockets on London in the space of little more than an hour, it suggested they might have increased their deployment, and a whole new phase of the offensive was underway.